Hi, my persuasive speech is over why I think that the death of Princess Diana wasn't completely an accident, and that I believe that the royal family actually had a big role in it. She died at 4 o'clock in the morning on August 31st, 1997. Princess Diana was a very kind, loving person, probably one of the most well-known princesses that have ever lived. And she was just a very kind-hearted person. She would go visit hospitals with children with cancer or different types of diseases like that, and she was just such a loving person. The whole entire world mourned her death because the day she died, it was a huge loss for everybody. And multiple reasons that I think she was killed. One of them being the issues that they had getting her to the hospital. To me, it's extremely suspicious that they passed more than one hospital getting her to the one they eventually took her to, and she died in the parking lot as soon as they got there. But if they had been trying to save her life, then they would have just taken her to the nearest one possible, you would think. But like I said, they ended up passing one or two before they eventually got her to the one they were trying to get her to. That just doesn't make sense to me. She suffered massive internal bleeding, and if they had taken her to the first hospital they passed, she probably would still be alive right now. And that's one of the main reasons I think that the royal family had something to do with it. Also, the security cameras in the tunnel, only in the exact spot that the crash happened, all of those cameras in that area went off. They completely blacked out. And all of the police radios, of the police that were in that area that could have responded quickly, all of the radios went out. And to me, that just doesn't make sense how all of the cameras and all of the police radios just happened to go out at that exact moment. So that's another reason I definitely think that the royal family was involved, because it just doesn't make sense that would just happen to happen. Also, while she was married to Prince Charles, it was after they had gotten a divorce, she made several videos and voice recordings of her talking about how she felt like her life was in danger, and that how she felt like Prince Charles was going to try to get her out of the way. She even wrote in one of her letters that she said, "My husband is planning an accident in my car, brake failures and serious head injuries in order to make the path clear for him to marry." Divorce in the royal family was very frowned upon, and so when he decided that he wanted to get a divorce with her, it was more, it would have just looked better on his part if something happened to her, which makes it suspicious to me because of the fact that she thought her life was in danger before anything happened, and that she had written letters saying that a car accident was going to be the reason for her death, and it ultimately was. So, as you can see, there's a lot of evidence supporting the fact that the royal family may have been involved in her death. And if the situation had been handled better, and they had stopped at the first hospital, she could have been saved. And there was also, there had been witnesses that said that they had heard gunshots in the tunnel, but since all the cameras were out, they didn't have any way of actually knowing if there had been a sniper in the tunnel, like some of the witnesses had said there was. So it's just a very complicated situation, and I really do think that her death wasn't an accident. I believe that the royal family had a huge part in it, and that she could have been saved. So that is why I think that the royal family was somehow involved in her death. I guess that's it. Thank you.